Let's do it. No T. We do have an email, and we got Kristen. Yeah, that's everything.
Yep, I'm right here.
All right. All right.
I'm right here.
Got it.
This is me. I'm over here.
That's me. I'm here. All right, here we go. It starts in 3, 2, 1. Whoops, don't wait. Why didn't it record? Just a minute. Oh, that's why. All right, Scott. There you go, buddy. All right, here we go for real.
Ba 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 ba.
There you go. Ba ba ba. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to There Will Be Dungeons at therewillbedungeons.com. It's a show where we play D&D. 5th edition rules, everyone, but we play in our own homemade world created by DM and writing genius, Bo Schwartz. I'm Scott Johnson. I'm here with Bo and, of course, John Jagger, Kristen Ashton, and Kyle Ferguson. We're back at it. We're not doing a tea this morning. However, we are going to do this quick email, and when I say quick, I mean very quick. This is from an anonymous writer. He says, please keep me anonymous. Now, you're going to laugh when you hear the email because why would they want to keep this anonymous? But anonymous writer wrote in and said, can you please tell me when we are going to John's homeland where we can find out more about Stanley? Thanks. Please keep me anonymous.
It wasn't me.
So
I didn't write it.
It was too good not to read, and also I guess I'll keep him anonymous. I do know his real name, but I'll keep it quiet for now. It's not anyone I know or that I think you know, so I don't know what the secrecy's about. However, Bo, this is directed, I guess, toward you because it would be you that would take us there. Any interest down the road that you can even hint at as in terms of where John's character comes from and when we might see it?
Nope.
Great. It was all worth it then. It was all worth it. I'm so glad I brought this important question to the table. I mean, I guess you can take from that anonymous listener as probability that, or at the very least, it's not off the table. If it was, Bo would say. So we're going.
I mean, if you want to go looking for it, you can.
Yeah.
But as far as Stanley's concerned, he is not aware of a homeland for elves.
I mean, you got to think they're
space.
Space elves, yeah.
Space.
Oh,
sending them, finding your way to the sky.
Kristen confirmed it. We're going to space, everybody. Pack your bags. It's off to space. But not until we recap those. By the way, you can send your messages over at therewillbedungeons.com. Please do that. Join our support system. I'll talk more about that at the end of the show, so listen for that. And now, Kristen, could you please recap last week's adventure?
Of course, last time on There Will Be Dungeons, victorious Varel rested on the remains of his rival. Seeing a space to strike, Xerxel set out to summon subordinates from the swarm. She orated Orp an ornament, taking the title of Fang for her favor. Varel agreed, bellowing to be bigger than a brief bout, but the buzzing bodies booed. Furious at Varel's failure to fan the flames of the folk in her favor, she fought the Fang. Stanley, Nash, and Hope sought the scene. Stanley slipped seamlessly through while Hope and Nash pinged parries and pushes. Eventually, Hope found a foothold while Nash drew detection by denaturing into a dragon, grabbing the gaze of the gawkers, helping Stanley heal Varel's hurts without hindrance. Varel was to be victorious yet again until Hope heard him harry the hater, implying infestation. Taking no toss-ups, she excised Xerxel, the bullet blowing the body and its bugs to bits. Varel, Stanley, and Hope were quickly corralled to the Fang's Cathedra as Nash glided as a god over the ground. Omnom vowed vengeance on Hope, and the next notch was knotted. Peer into the pit of people, pull their protoplasm for pestilence, and thereby produce their pardon. Stanley took to task as Nash knocked nooks. Hope and Varel rushed to Xerxel's room to rummage for remnants. There they captured a conscious crawler creeping in the corpse's calculus cot. Meanwhile, Stanley interviewed a particularly peculiar person pulled from the pit. He conversed in common and conveyed being catered. Stanley locked onto lies let loose from his lips. He offered an option for open oratory that was not obliged. Properly perturbed, Stanley and Nash contained the character in a cut-off compartment, awaiting the arrival of their associates. Now rejoin our heroes as they hasten to discover a means to maim the mysterious maggots. Who actually is the man with the wheels? Was Orp's flesh already infected? And what will they do with the live specimen? Stay tuned for today's adventure in the wide world of The Wastes.
Very good. Bo, it's all yours, sir.
We return to Hope and Varel as they make their way from Cave Fengar to return to their allies underneath the throne room in the man's pit. Hope, Varel, you're walking at a brisker pace with the ceramic bowl in your hand, covered and tied with a piece of cloth, leather, I believe. As you make your way through Rezekval, to your right, you see several lizard folk sitting on rocks, and they appear to be chewing meats. And as you approach, one of their tails whips one of the other guys and nods towards you. And then a lizard folk looks to you and says, "Great Fang, would you join us for this feast?" And the remaining lizard folk sort of appear to be, the way they're chewing on the food is they just put their teeth into it and sink into it and then sort of freeze. And then just sort of, it's like all the succulence of the meat's getting drained out into their throat.
I dine on greater challenges this evening.
This was your hunt. Have you not partaken in your kill yet? Come,
There will
join
be
us.
time. There will be time for revelry and rest, but it is not now. I must proceed.
And looking somewhat hurt, the lizard folk returns to his food and says, "As you wish."
As we continue walking,
All right.
Hope, I whisper to Hope,
Varel?
I fear that our people may be poisoned.
By what?
If we find that there are worms in the man's pit, and Orp was eating the worms, would that not mean that they are eating the worms as well?
Then that just means we need to find a way to kill them faster.
Ideally. We proceed to the man's pit.
All right. We'll have you proceed to the man's pit, and all around.
Yeah.
Everything okay, Scott?
Yeah. Discord just restarted, and I don't know why.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, everybody.
All
Continue.
right.
Continue.
We're still recording. We're still live.
Yeah, oh yeah, all that stuff's good. I don't know what happened with Discord.
All around you, the industry of carving up Orp, wrapping it in leather bundles, and shipping it off to various parts of the valley that is Rezekval is underway. We return to Stanley, who's sitting on a bench. And another one of the son's witnesses from the pit is brought forward to him for his inspection. Behind him, Omnom, arms crossed, watches him, and Nash Magard of the Solar Mines is leaning against a cave wall, looking cool. The person seated before you, Stanley, and this time it's a male, again very malnourished, frizzy hair all over the place, maybe 3 teeth total, eyes burnt out. You can tell they can't really see very well. There's a lot of dry flakes of skin around the eyes. Bunko sehadaba, he says.
All right, I will start the inspection on him as well. Ears, I guess eyes, although burnt out, we'll still check them, and mouth.
All right, roll a medicine check, please.
It's a 9.
Okay. So you examine this man's ears and eyes, and you don't see anything. You don't see anything that hints towards infestation of some kind, of the kind that you're looking for, this worm. Excuse me, but you do see that he's very dirty, and there's a lot of earwax in the ears, and the eyes have a lot of caked on crust from the desert. Doesn't look very healthy. So your medicine check is that this person is very has malnutrition and is sickly.
All right, I let the guards know. This one can go with the others.
Lizard folk come towards him, grab him by either upper arm, and sort of drag him into the room you've set aside for the checked prisoners. Omnam looks to you a second. He says, "Would it be not more efficient to peel back his face skin and examine what is underneath? How can you tell what is going on? I am confused."
This is the best method we have without killing these people, Omnom, which is the goal, as instructed by your great Fang.
What if we killed just one?
And
Just to
what
see.
if that one was not infected? Then we've killed one for no good reason.
Perhaps we can kill them until we find one.
And what if that proves not to be a good method? Or what if there is no infection down here?
I fail to see the problems that you are trying to put forth.
So far, there have only been lizard folk that have been infected. Now, I know Varel thinks maybe this is coming from the man's pit, and perhaps it is, but we believe that this infection is spreading from the Daemon Vault, and that is where your people hunt, and that is where the creatures you feed off from. So, if we can accept that I am not going to just start killing innocent people in the pit, go ahead and get the next one, because this is going to take a very long time.
Omnum looks and he says, "I'm not going to fetch the next one. I'm Omnum. I do serve no one except the
Then-
Great Fang."
Tell someone to get it, I don't care.
He goes, "Dushu, bring the next one." And then another lizard folk sort of walks out of the room, and they begin. You see a big pole enter into the man's pit, and they begin trying to hook one of them by their clothes, and they grab one, and now they're dangling off the big pole as 4 or 5 lizard folk bring that person up onto the ledge. And this person's a bit manic. He's like, and he begins to run away, and then one of the lizard folk punches him in the stomach, and then drags him over to your examination bench. And he's kind of like sits down, and then because he won't stop moving, one of the lizard folk sort of grab him and hold him down into the seat. And he looks at you, Stanley, and he goes, "Image honored inaboro activate for Zinkin soyo yosha yosaba."
It's going to be all right, friend. Just one moment. Just talking very soothing, and give him the inspection as well.
Oh, so if you're attempting to pacify him, let's make a, what would that be? That's medicine? It's kind of like a nurse
Yeah.
sort of calming a patient down, right?
Yeah. For medicine, I rolled a 20, not natural.
Okay. And he looks at you and listens to your words. He doesn't appear to understand them, but the soothing nature of it, your dulcet tones, calms him. And he looks and he's like, "Inchi." And he's nodding to you like, "Do you agree?" "Inchi."
Just kind of nod along with him and start the examination.
Okay, roll your medicine check.
That is exactly the same. 20, not natural.
Okay, so you carefully look him over for signs of the worm. Nothing jumps out at you. And as you make this examination, Varel and Hope walk into the room. Omnum looks at you and goes, and goes back to watch what Stanley's doing.
This one is cleared. You can send him with the others. Were you able to find anything?
Yes, we have one.
Hope will hold up the bowl.
Fresh from the bed of Zershil herself.
All right. So we now have a worm. Don't have anybody with it in their ear so far, though. But again, I don't know if this is even going to prove anything. Without anybody who's actually infected, I can't tell if there are any signs or if this thing is capable of hiding from the level of inspection that I'm doing.
I fear a dark task lays before us. If we have uninfected prisoners, and we need a way to examine the effects of the infestation, we may be forced to perform a rather dire task.
You're suggesting we intentionally infect one of them to examine the results.
I'm open to additional suggestion. Depends on our time here. Nobieri may be our best source of demonic information. We may need to leave for a time. Have this worm inspected. How long will it live outside a host? Did it crawl from her ear while she slept? Is it in its natural habitat? Will it dry out soon? I do not know these things.
Varel,
We may be pressed for time.
do you only need a human host to test this, and can it be removed, Stanley, after you've put it in?
I don't know. Everyone we've ever taken out was from somebody who had died. I don't know what the effects of trying to remove it from a living person are.
If you or Varel could make some assurances that death or permanent infestation would not result from this, Nash Magard of the Solar Mines would happily be your human test subject. You need a human, right? Well, I guess Zershel, it worked on her too, but you're testing
As far
humans
as
now.
we know, it works on all manner of creatures. Actually, I don't know if we've ever even seen a human infected with it.
Is that not what attacked you, Hope?
It was a tiefling. He'd been missing for a time before he showed up again infected.
Oh,
Interesting.
I thought humans had it.
We know the bug duggeries in the desert. I forgot what my local pronunciation of them was, Bo. Do you remember?
The bug duggeries?
The bugbears, but I don't call them bugbears as a lizard folk. I call them something else.
The gobbears.
Gobbears. We know the gobbears were infested, and they had a leader who was rather fanatical about the whole affair.
They called him the Worm Lord.
Ah, that's a good name for someone full of worms. So we can
Well,
assume...
I don't love the idea of intentionally infecting somebody with this. Certainly, even though I do think it would be hilarious, Nash. But we do have around between 200 and 300 people down there, and none of them are in good condition. If there was someone who could not be saved, it might be beneficial to test this with the intent of saving others.
The other danger here may be that the worms have a sort of network tethered to their master. If we were to attach one to a human, it may see through its eyes and give away its new enemies, us.
I mean,
it
we
already
fought
knows.
quite a few. I think they know. Hope
Maybe
was
we're
targeted
coincidental
personally.
enemies.
You do know from Dolo Popio that this was a contracted demon because of the way you cheated Andriesta out of her just reward.
We didn't know anything about that. She just needs to call this off. Yeah.
I believe our best hope for information from a single worm and a single trial is to get this demon, and I point at the bull, to Nobieri, while I deal with the many questions that come with my new position.
I think that would be smart. He certainly is knowledgeable enough to maybe find some answers for us. Although I don't necessarily trust his methods more than our own. That said, we have a lot of people here that are not in good condition, and we need to decide what we're going to do with them.
You hear a bit of laughter come from a hallway behind you.
Who's that?
Look
I'm
over to see
assuming
what
that's follow.
you look over to see where the laughter is, and you see he's a black man, no legs, on a set of wheels where his legs would be. He's in shadow, and you just hear a faint come from the little cave Nash made for him.
Why is that one in a cave?
That one is an anomaly. As far as I can tell, he's not infected, but he's also far healthier than anybody else we've pulled out of there. Doesn't seem a bit concerned about his present situation, and is definitely keeping something to himself.
Does something of our predicament amuse you?
And as you address him and yell down the cave, he stops laughing. It's just that I don't think any of us are getting out of here alive.
I see. Do you fear our hands?
No. From what I've seen, you're aware of the same thing I am. That something's dreadfully wrong in this nightmare of a place you call a kingdom.
You don't seem too worked up about it, buddy.
Well, I suppose I'm not. But y'all seem like good folk. I take it that big man is no longer ruler of this place?
That is correct.
That mean you don't need these folk here to be kept prisoner anymore. Why aren't you letting them go?
There are matters to attend to. Plus, releasing them into the desert would seem rather cruel in their current position.
But it seems like, from what I can tell, you think something might be wrong with them.
Indeed.
I think something might be wrong with them, too.
Are we really just gonna keep him alive?
And then you hear, everyone hears a voice in their head. Rather than hear audio sound, you hear a voice, and you hear this voice fill your mind. See, I'm something of someone different.
Hope's gonna start pulling her gun out.
Wait, Hope.
Hope will look at Stanley and kind of kick the dirt with her boot.
Ever since, as long as I can remember, I've had a gift that few have. I can feel your mind. Even right now, I can tell you're all scared of something. I can feel their minds too. And I can tell something's not right with those son's witnesses that are in that pit.
All of them.
Every last one of them.
Why are you so
Well,
convinced
they,
that we're afraid? Because I don't think Varel is afraid of anything.
You hear the voice fill your mind again and say, perhaps apprehension is a better word.
Keep your communication to your face organs.
Very well.
Your mouth
You hear the
organ.
voice say.
When you say there's something off about them, these are a group of people that, near as I can tell, go out into the desert and stare at the sun until their eyes burn out. I would say that that's perhaps counterintuitive behavior to begin with. You mean something more than that.
Now, I don't mean their savage ways that they've learned from a lifetime lived in the desert. I'm saying they got the devil in them.
Which one?
Well, my beauty, I just don't know which one, but it's one of them.
Let me warn you, sir. Being strange and complimenting her looks is a great way to die. Now I suggest you make maximum sense, lest we find a new use for your head.
I can tell we're on the same side. That's the side that would like to live to see another day. There ain't many people here gonna live to see another day. In fact, it might only be the 5 of you.
Who's the fifth?
You look around the room and you do see Omnom standing there with his arms crossed.
Great. Great. Freaking Om Nom.
Why are you so certain that so much death is about to follow? What do you know? Are you able to sense which people have this devil, as you put it, in them?
I'm not here alone. I have a few friends here with me. Even now, they're securing our way out of here. And when I leave this place, I'm never coming back and never looking back. Now, you seem like right folk who maybe have a chance to go on living. And it seems like I'm going to need your help to get out of here. So why don't we all work together and leave this place before it's too late?
Does this have anything to do with the little girl?
You hear a voice enter your mind only, and you hear the word, yeah, that's her.
Stanley, what little girl?
During the fight between Zershel and Vorel, out amongst the other lizard folk, there was a little girl. Only saw her for a moment, looked back, and then she was gone.
Little human?
It was a human, right?
It was a human.
Yeah.
It's no place for a child. So, ghost children.
Not quite ghost children. See, it's a long story, but perhaps if we live to tell the tale, I'll tell it to you.
We're alive now.
Not for much longer.
It is time for you to stop speaking in riddles. If you know something is going to happen, it's time to say it.
I know about as much as you that there's something not quite right with them son's witnesses, and you've been feeding it to that great beast who was ruling this place. Now, I don't know too much, but I know one thing. There's something wrong with that food. I can feel it. You can feel it. You can't find any evidence of it. I couldn't find any evidence of it either. There's something in there that's worming its way around that doesn't want to be caught. That's about as much as I know. And to be quite frank, I don't want to find out. I just want to go. I'll take my daughter with me and be on my way.
If that's the case, Varel, you need to stop them from eating it. Maybe we set it on fire and we let it burn.
Or maybe we should do what I said, was to open their face and find the evidence. Says Omnom in a weird tone for him.
You know that's impossible right now, Hope. They're all celebrating.
So you'd let them continue to get infected if it is infected?
We don't know that it is yet, and our plan here is to find a way to deal with the infestation that does not cause the death of the host. Our goal remains the same. To remove their food would cause a panic.
Isn't that better than them being infected?
I fear that we've, and I look at Nash, given them too much confusion for the day so far. However, if the dragon god was to suggest the meat is now tainted somehow, we could stop the feasting.
There's no way we know to test this food. I mean, to see if it's truly infected or not, or infested.
There is one way I can think of. But it destroys our only chance at experimentation. We see if this worm is weak to your acid. If the worm dies to the acid attack, we know that the worms were destroyed by Orp's stomach, and the meat is fine.
Well, assuming stomach acid in any creature is similar to that I produce through magic, it wouldn't hurt. Certainly wouldn't hurt to try.
But food stays in the mouth for a little bit before it goes down. Wouldn't have it had a chance in the mouth?
I can assure you that I stared deep into Orp's eyes as I killed him, and there was no sign of worms. Those smaller eyes, those of Zershild, betrayed her much faster. I believe I would have seen something in my battle with him. He was confused. He was himself, as far as I know.
We don't even know exactly how this threat is going to manifest itself. We all assume it's going to have to do with the worms. There's no telling what methods a demon might go to in efforts to stop us or seek revenge. And we currently have a giant dead body rotting out in the sun.
It is not rotting.
Well, being torn apart. If there is an infection in the meat, potentially every one of your people out there around it could have it. And we have no method with which to identify if they even are.
Which is why I suggest we move faster.
Alright, what do we do?
Are you asking me?
No, we know what you want to do, Nom.
Great
I
Fang,
believe-
allow me to rip the face off one of these humans and answer these questions for you.
It is not the face we are curious about, Omnom.
It's the brain.
Perhaps the whole being.
Very well, we will examine the brain. We cannot be squeamish about killing one or two humans to help save the greater population.
You there. Caged Giggler. Do you have a name?
They call me Follow.
Follow. Would it loosen your tongue to be out of such a confinement?
I'd be grateful for a show of friendship.
Here's my suggestion. Hope,
I'm shaking
Stanley?
my head.
with Follow, you return to Nobieri with the worm. And gather as much information as you can.
I am not leading him to my kingdom.
I shall remain here. I am weary from the battle. Along the lines of 9 hit points. And I would very much like to not be left alone with what may transpire here, and I would hope Nash would be my bodyguard.
I'd love to. Plus, I'm exhausted.
Now, look, I'm not going anywhere. I want to be on my way. We should all be on our way. You shouldn't stay here.
What is your way? Where do you wheel off to?
That's so tactful.
Because I get the feeling you're just sort of floating around and have nowhere to go.
I didn't come here by my choice. It was these lizard folk who were out raiding to get food for that great orp. I got caught same as the rest. Now I'd like to go if I'm not a prisoner anymore. I certainly don't have a worm crawling around inside me, but I know something real bad's about to happen here. And if you know that you don't have something bad crawling around you, you might want to do like me and get the hell out of here.
And where exactly are you planning to go, I believe is the question.
The honest answer to that is I don't know. Our home was destroyed, and we've been on the road since looking for another place to rest safely. People like me, we don't do well. We're different. So we need to find
Well,
our home.
if hell is coming to this place, I'm extremely hesitant leaving you here with only Nash as your defender.
If everyone's infected, I don't know if there's a way you two could fight off all of them.
Then this would all be for naught. And I'm saying this in common, by the way. This entire fangdom, this alliance that we build between the lizards and Tietkala, we must believe it can work. That something can come of all this effort. If we abandon it now, it falls to chaos. Either way, either new fangs rise, who do not agree with my confusing foreign ways, or the entire city falls to madness and rips it apart overnight.
Doesn't quite understand what you're saying, but he has his own thread that he's starting to pick up in his mind, and he looks to you guys and he looks to the guard and he says, "Guard! Where was these Sun's Witness people, the weird eye people? Where were they procured from?" One of the guards looks back to him and says, "It was the Zarks that brought them."
That is most concerning.
Hope's eyes are gonna flash.
Yes. From what I gather from what this little half-man says, that he was brought in as these were brought in. And if they have some sort of taint on them, then perhaps we should ask who brought them. And why did they bring tainted food for their great fang?
Hope's gonna kind of look around and she's gonna nod an arm nom. Probably doesn't nod back, but that's okay because she loves Om Nom. Deep down, she'll never say it out loud. She
No,
loves Om Nom.
I can feel it.
I think I need to kill one of them, guys.
Stanley, do you possess the ritual that the purple lizard spoke of?
The ability to speak to a dead body? Yeah.
Yes.
What exactly are we proposing we do?
Their language is beyond us, but from beyond the grave, does their spirit answer true?
Hold on. Got to look and see if that has anything to do with language.
That's a great question.
I feel like it usually say it knows the languages in New in Life with a lot of the text, but I could be mistaken.
The corpse can't learn any new information, doesn't comprehend anything that has happened since it died, can't speculate about future events.
I love the use.
I don't think it's going to suddenly gain language it doesn't possess. If it couldn't talk to us before, it won't be able to talk to us now.
What about some of the other lizard folk who have died? We could understand them.
It would have to be someone with at least a head still.
So the Zarks poisoned Orb, perhaps, with tainted meats from their lands.
We have no confirmation yet, but yes.
Did the Zarks not leave before any of this occurred?
Yes, conveniently not going to be here to see the results of what they possibly have brought.
They would have returned to Kervalon. We should go to them and ask them, what is the meaning of this food? And then slay them if their answer is one of guilt.
And then return to what? This kingdom will fall.
We shall slay them all and rebuild Razekval. No big deal.
The 5 of us.
Are you scared, Softling man?
I'm just confused as to where additional forces are going to be coming from with just you and Varel as the last remaining lizard folk in Razekval.
These are Softling thoughts, such as weighing the odds. I tire of hearing it already.
For example.
What do you say,
Well,
Great Fang?
It's your call.
We fight an enemy I cannot see.
Let me at least take one of the humans.
Yes, I see. Hope finally sees reason. The most unlikely of any person here who I find agreement with.
Very well. Select your human, and we shall look inside them.
All right,
What exactly is your plan for this human? Just check and see if it's infected?
Cut them open. Look inside their head. Maybe we can find worms in there to confirm or deny if they're already infected.
Look, if we are going to just arbitrarily kill somebody, which, for the record, I'm against, we literally have a method to guarantee that the human we kill would be infected. Why roll the dice and hope whoever we pull out of that pit is infected if we can guarantee it? I mean, Follow said it could be just one of them. There's a whole lot of people down there. I don't like your odds of just fishing up the correct one.
What's the guarantee?
We have a worm. We can infect one.
I think what they're trying to do is find one in there. Just proof of it, I suppose. Sorry, I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Oh, okay. I see.
I think there's a little miscommunication. Yeah, they're Hope's wanting to do it, and Nom Nom to find evidence of it, because right now we're just taking Follow's word that something's not right.
I am prepared for action, but we leave the city undefended if we go. And we have no way to guarantee anyone is still on our side.
Follow. You said you can hear other people's thoughts. This is how you know that some of these people aren't quite right. Do you think you would be capable of identifying which person?
I can tell you, yeah, I can give you a look at who I think might be reticent in their thoughts. It's hard to explain, but yeah, I can point one out to you.
All right. We can
Wheel me
test
over
his
there.
We can test his gift and the theory all at the same time.
Let it be done then.
Alright, I'll go get Follow.
All right, you go over to him and you begin wheeling him, and as his wheels creak, as you wheel him, and you bring him towards the hole in the man's pit, and below, the people look up. Oh. And he closes his eyes for a minute, stretches out his arms, and a moment passes by. And then he opens it up and he points at one of the men down there. He's bald. He's got maybe one tooth. Got a crooked nose. And he looks up and goes, "Oh. And they all start sort of looking, and they start circling around him and like protecting him in the circle in the pit below.
Fish that one out.
Lizard folk take their big pole and they dip it right in there, and the people below start batting it away, and they start acting up and batting away, and they're having a difficult time grabbing the right one. One of the Sun's witnesses below grabs onto it, and then a bunch of other ones, and now there's a big tug of war going on between the lizard folk and the Sun's witnesses below. Follow looks at you and he says, "I don't think they want to let him up."
Strange that only one would be infected and that they would all attempt to defend him.
I think he might be a leader of some kind.
The hive strings.
Lizard folk look to you and, "Do you wish us to go down there and use force, Great Fang?"
He may be very ill, contagious. We must be patient.
Hope,
Then how do you
think
propose
you
we
can
proceed?
put a little fear into them, see if we can get them to scatter?
I can certainly try. And what I'll do is I'll take my pistol, and I'll shoot at the ground between their feet to see if I can intimidate them away.
Okay. Intimidation roll, please.
Oh, nice. It's going to be a 22.
Okay, so you pull out the pistol, shoot the ground, and as you do that, a bunch of them dive sort of for cover and put their hands over their ears, and they free up enough position in front of them that the lizard folk are able to, the people having let go of the stick goes into the clothing of the guy you're looking for, and then they tilt him up real quick, and then there's one other person hanging off, and they're sort of, so there's two of them on there, and they drag them over down to two of them down in front of you. and then one of the sort of the man that's the target, he's sort of on his knees, just sort of like praying, and the other one in front of them starts to get in your face, Pharrell, and is like, and he's just like, he's starting to smack your chest with his open palm.
Can I Sparta him?
You can.
I would like to Sparta kick him back into the hole.
All right, attack roll, please.
26.
Okay, your damage dice, please.
Jeez.
Oh, this is unarmed and not my claws, so it is 5. It's a flat 5.
Right. Are you intending any non-lethality to this?
It's non-lethal, but it is.
But
full
the fall
force.
may not be non-lethal.
Yes, that is
Can't-
true.
Yeah. So you kick him, and you just hear a crack in his chest as this malnutreated human is just easily just. He goes, "Oh!" And then you Sparta kick him, and he flies into the air over the pit and falls down into the hole. He survives. He hits the down, and he's like, he lands on his back, and he's out of breath, catching his breath in below, and a bunch of the Sun's witnesses surround him and try to provide, not really care because they have nothing like that, but they surround him and help him up and brush him off. Meanwhile, the one that you were targeting is sort of praying in front of you, like Ishibaya wa samibo indo sabadindai hosapo fachuki indo haratu sopo. I can keep going if you wish.
No.
Very well. Keep it going.
Make it so.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, man.
Follow. What is the nature of this man's affliction? What can you sense inside him?
I don't know. I just know that there's something in there that doesn't want to be found, if that makes any sense. Stanley understands. He's been looking at him and he hasn't found anything.
Before we do anything, let me at least examine this one and see if there are any signs. That way, if we have to deal with this in the future, we at least know there's something we can look for.
Yes.
I'll start getting him into the waiting room, check him out. Eyes, ears, mouth.
All right, medicine check, please.
Nose, throat.
Yep.
You're a general practitioner.
21.
All right, so you do a thorough examination of him medically, and he definitely looks malnutreated. There's sort of an arthritis to him. It seems like it's painful for him to move. His hands are like sort of crunched up together like this. His nails are very long. His eyes are somewhat they look burnt and crusty skin, just like all the other ones. His hair is shaved though. It's very short on top, except for a few strands that were like missed. You don't see any sign of the worm, however. Nothing in the eye or the ear that suggests anything's in there.
All right, with this one being pointed out as a little bit more, let's do a full check. Let's check them all out, not just the face.
Sorry, you want to check what exactly?
Strip him down, check his skin, check the nooks and crannies, check it all.
Are we doing bunghole too?
Bunghole.
Yeah, that's a nook and a cranny.
Yeah, full
You gotta-
physical.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
His pubis, turning cough, all of
Also, I don't know if it matters, but I did do the math wrong on that check, and it was technically a 23.
Okay. All right. So you strip him. Well, he refuses to be stripped. As you tell him to take off his clothes, he doesn't appear to understand. And as you motion for it, he sort of clutches himself and is like, not going to do it. So are you forcing him to take his clothes off?
Yeah, we'll just give a nod to Omnom. I'm sure he can encourage him.
Is this a nod to peel his face now?
Nope, just the clothes, Omnom.
it.
I thought Hope said we were going to kill this one.
And we might, but we want to learn everything we can before we do.
Okay. So you wish me to derobe him?
Yes.
Okay, so as the man sort of backs up, he lunges forward with his claws, grabs him by the neck, and then just grabs a pile of his rags and just rips it off him completely. So he's got him by the neck, not choking, but he's holding it up. He just pulls all the clothes off and just rips them, throws them down, And then he holds the person to. He says, "Begin your examination." And he's got him by the neck, sort of dangling.
Before we begin, I will prestidigitate, get him clean so that nothing can hide in dirt and grime or anything like that, and
Okay.
give him a look.
You prestidigitate the wasteland crazy into cleanliness. His body is now clean. He's still struggling in Omnom's grasp.
All right, start checking. He's not like choking, right?
He's not
just
choking
being
him. He's
held.
being held
Okay.
by his neck. Yeah, but
Okay,
he doesn't
yeah.
like it.
All right. Well, he had another option before.
All right. So as you approach to examine him, the crazy kicks you.
Gosh dang it.
I mean, 11 doesn't hit, right?
No.
Yeah. So the kick flies wildly out, and as you get close, he rears up to try and kick again.
Omnom maybe a little more restrained than just by the neck.
Fine. And then he sort of leans down with his other hand and grabs his two legs. And then he moves him sideways. Like this. And he's like, "Here, check."
All right. We'll start with just check and see if there's any lesions, breaks in the skin, discolorations that are weird, anything
Okay.
moving.
Roll a medicine check.
Oh no, that one's not good. 8.
Okay, well, you have a look at his body. It is scarred and scratched. There are warts and definitely growths everywhere. You notice that there's a bacterial infection on his lower back, or maybe there was a cut at some point and it hasn't been cleaned properly. So there's some inflamed sort of skin, like little goopy, but I don't know what you would call it, just like mounds of skin that have like formed, and there's a little pus coming out of the back.
Ugh.
It's just Nash. The grossest one.
I know. He's basically walking pus, and he's like, oh.
It's different when it's your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's what you find on his back.
All right, let's check the nook and the cranny.
All right, so Omnum, understanding what you mean, sort of flips him over in his hand, and now you have his butt in your face. And are you putting any gloves on, or how's this working?
Oh Jesus, I don't have gloves.
I mean, are we
Um,
doing what I think we're doing here, or is this...
Could you use Mage Hand?
That's a good question. Can I use Mage Hand?
Of course.
Yes, I would attempt to use Mage Hand.
All right, so you cast Mage Hand, and you send the Mage Hand forth to do an inspection of the buttocks.
Yeah, I got my little light rock. I'm looking in.
The index finger disappears into his butthole. Roll a dice, please.
Okay, I rolled a dice. What am I adding anything to it?
It's a medicine check, sorry.
Okay, 7.
Roll a dice.
Step.
Okay. So the Mage Hand says it feels something strange inside. There's something moving on the inside. You're not sure what, but as soon as the Mage Hand because it reports sort of its feelings back to you, I think. Is that how Mage Hand works?
We could say it does.
Okay. I'm not 100% clear if you
Family.
get tactile feedback, but you sort of feel like something unusual. Although really, you never really used your Mage Hand in this way before, so it could just be nothing. It could just be usual, but there's something there that you tried, like a lump that you tried to put your finger on, and then it sort of moved away. And then as you try to find it, you can't find it anymore.
All right, I will convey all of that back to the group.
Okay. The group has
And-
had it conveyed to him. They're all watching this Mage Hand violate this wasteland person.
Examine.
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 Yeah. Well, it's a
Yeah.
very clinical experience.
Yeah.
The guy's
There's
over
totally-
50.
Yeah.
It's a matter of national security, so you don't need his permission.
Yeah. All right. I guess this means it is, if it is a worm, it is not necessarily always located in the brain.
This man appears as though he would suffer from normal worms.
Could be normal worms too.
Well, we've confirmed something of some sort of invasion of his person. While he's alive, I suggest one more thing. That we taunt him. And see if we can bring the demon out.
How do
What
you
about
wish
we
to
go
taunt him? Who is the best taunter here?
That's a good question.
I
will
mean,
start-
Nash is naturally infuriating.
Sure, but Stanley's got his megaphone and he's said some pretty rude shit.
Let us first try this.
We're all
And
offensive.
with the man down, I will stand over him. And in no particular language, just say, Dolapopio. Dolapopio. Are you listening, Dolapopio? You have in this room here two royalty who wish you dead. Myself, Varel Rasvim Kirik, now Fang. Hopak Menos, Queen of Tiat Kala. They're here for the taking. Awaken and show your presence, Dolapopio.
Religion check, please.
A 1.
Wow. A 1?
It wasn't religious,
That's
The body
fantastic.
convulses a little bit as you say it, and he appears to lose his resistance as it goes limp. Nom looks at it and goes, "It no longer fights back. What have you done with it, Varel?"
I'm taunting its spirit. It will reveal itself true. Dolapopio.
It appears dead. You've killed it with words.
These are one of my many powers. Dolapopio.
All right, religion check, please.
All right. 6.
The body convulses yet again a little bit.
So
As
religious.
he begins saying the name Dolopopio. Sort of this weird spasming that's happening to the body.
Well, I guess there's your answer.
Can I remove its face now, Varel?
Hold. We must complete this transformation if there is one. Dolapopio. I call you.
Okay, and as you say that, its face begins to light up. You see the eyes sort of roll around in all directions, and then it pops out the eyes on 2 eye stalks. They go, and they approach your face for help, and then the mouth sort of turns into like a serpent tongue, and it goes.
I step back.
And then the voice just says, "I see you."
Witness us both, for we are coming for you, Dolapopio.
I've already come for you. You can't come for me when I've come for you.
Then we have come for each other, and shall be joined in battle.
And the bass makes, "You are doomed." And the eyes sort of move around. Is this what you intended to happen, Borel? I wish to let it go.
Not this exact thing. Hope.
What?
Let us put this beast out of its misery.
Go, Varel. I'll be
Alright,
here
and-
behind you.
Okay, are we attacking it?
Yes.
Initiative rolls, please. Is that everyone getting involved?
Yeah,
Sure.
sure. 12.
12 Nash,
17.
8 for Stanley,
Yep.
19.
Doing bad
17
today.
for Hope,
Mm-hmm.
and
19 for Varel.
27 for Omnom.
Still faster than Omnom.
Yeah.
20 for Dolopopio.
Uh-oh.
You hear him go, and his face sort of just like, and he twists his body so that his butt is facing your direction,
No.
and worms fire out from his butt.
Oh. Oh my god.
They fire in your direction. Varel, it hits you. 21.
Hit.
You now have a worm on your body, and you need to make a saving throw, please.
Okay, which one?
Constitution.
Gross.
It's gross.
I just
9.
love that it wasn't gross until it was a
All right.
Right.
So the worm fires from the butt and then hits your scales, and then it begins sinking into your scales and starts to seep into your skin. All right. Hope. No, it misses. The worm fires at you, misses, sort of it shoots way past you, and you dodge out of the way. Stanley, yep, you need to make a Constitution saving throw as the worm hits your face.
Oh, that might be enough. That's a 16.
Okay, so latches onto your skin but doesn't start making its way into your pores yet. It's just on top of you, like right here. Nash Magard,
Yeah.
you get hit. I need a Constitution save, please.
All right. That will be 15.
Yeah.
Then
All right. So it latches onto your skin and doesn't begin sinking in yet.
okay.
Omnom as well gets sprayed with them, and one latches onto his skin, and he's got to make a Constitution save, and he doesn't make it. All right, so Varel and Omnom are having worms slowly sink into their body. And to be fair, just so you picture this clearly, it's not just like one worm; it's a spray of worms. As the initial worm sort of shot out, but then there's a shower of worms. It seems unlikely, right? Like there's no way this body could have all these worms in it, but there's just all these this shower of worms firing everywhere. So there's a cone in front of Omnom where it's unsafe because worms are flying out of his body.
Is it like
Relative-
shotgun style, like forcefully?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a hose style.
Okay. All right.
Can someone like screen cap Kristen's face right now because it's perfect. She's like, should have just killed him. Varel, your turn.
All right, I would like to enter my rage.
All right, you are raging.
As part of my rage, I will do my flame burst,
Okay.
regardless of anyone in my area, because I want this thing off me.
Okay, so you do flame
No,
burst.
I'll take it. Burn the worms on me too.
Yeah.
So 3 damage to all creatures within a 10-foot radius.
Okay, so you burn the worm off. It sort of just disintegrates on your skin. Are you hitting anyone else or just yourself?
It's not. I can't control that. It hits all creatures.
Okay, so everyone take 3 points of damage. If you have a worm on you, it burns up.
Yay!
Oh, 3 points, you say?
It's the happiest I've ever been about damage in my life.
Yeah. Also, the spray of worms sort of catches on fire as well.
Oh no, is it gonna burn his butthole?
Now there's not.
It's just gonna.
A little pilot
I mean-
light back there.
It's still
they're not super.
firing.
They're not super flammable, so it's not. Yeah. Like,
Oh.
he's not
okay.
on fire, but there's like a lot of the worms are lighting up, and you're in a big chorus. All right, Varel.
All right, that was my bonus action. I will now do a double flame shield throw on the
Okay.
avatar of Dolopopio.
A double Popio.
A 13 and a 16.
Okay, both are hits.
All right. $20, 31 points of damage from all fire damage.
So you slice the body in half and kill it, and it erupts in an explosion of worms. Omnom's just like, ah! He's just like running back as the corpse explodes in front of him, and Follow begins wheeling himself out of the room. You've killed it. It's still writhing on the ground. Combat is over.
I'm not get back. Pharrell needs to cleanse off the worms.
Omnom's like, get them off me. He's like picking them off. Make sure there is none left on me. Flame me, Vorel.
All right, still in my rage and able to attack unfriendly targets, I will flame burst as a bonus action, and I will continue my parade of flame bursts around the room for 10 rounds if needed.
Okay, so you begin shooting off. Omnom sort of faces back to you like a hose, and then he turns around, and then he raises like an armpit as you continually flame him off to make sure nothing is on him. And his scales become increasingly charred, but he pays no mind to it as you cleanse him of worms.
All right, as the cleansing falls, my rage does too, and I
So
look
on
around
the-
for follow.
On the ground, there's like a whole pile of flaming worms, all scrunched up and dead, and this person's corpse is cut into two. You begin to hear crying outside in the man's pit. There's no sign of follow.
Where'd he go? We must find him. He is our extra sense.
Yeah, go out. I'll look. What's going on in the pit? What are they?
So as you hear the screams outside, you rush out, like outside of the cave area, which is your examination room. You see in the pit that all the Sun's witnesses now are beginning to convulse. They're holding their head. And then the tentacles start spewing forth from their mouths. It's like, and there's like hundreds of them as they all start transforming in the pit. And there's a big chorus, and the lizard folk around are like,
Nash, we need fire. We need a lot of fire right now.
Is there anyone in there who's not transforming?
they're all transforming.
Oh, they all are? Okay. Excellent.
As far as you can tell, there's a massive bodies, and they're all writhing in pain. Tentacles, their eyes are like shooting out of their eyes. Their faces start going.
What about the two in the cells that were checked out by Stanley?
Well, you turn around and you hear disturbing noises coming from that direction too. But you can't
Nash, seal the room.
All right.
Let's get out.
see. I was telling Nash what to do. Nash, fire! Nash, seal the roof.
I mean,
I want to run out and find Follow. We need him.
let me throw it out there to the group though and say, fire or earth, pick your poison.
Seal the room, burn the pit.
Okay. What order?
Any order, just do it.
All right, I'll go. Sorry. Hey, everybody, don't get hurt. Here comes a whole shitload of dirt. Burp, and I do the sealing the room. And then I go, we're going to leave from whence we came, but before we do, here's a lot of flame.
Okay, so if I understand correct, you're mold earthing to seal them in.
Correct.
then
The
you're
examination, the room we sent the other people.
Yeah, I gotcha. And you're fireballing the hole, the man's pit.
Yes.
All right, roll damage dice, please.
Okay.
Make sure to mark off your spell slot.
This is an expensive one. I hope everyone appreciates it.
We do.
I like that one of Nash's character arcs is he's become such a prude about his powers. I don't want to turn into a dragon. I'll get tired. Everybody.
This is how I play. This is how I play
appreciates-
computer
Fireball.
games too. I always way over preserve power and mana and crap. I hate it about myself. All right, sorry, Bo. What? 8d6. Sorry.
Yeah, roll 8d6 for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Just a sec. Okay, here we go. My app died. Okay, there we go. D6. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is a total of 35 points of damage.
All right, so you fire it in there. Boom, and it lights. Let's say it's a 20 by 20 foot radius, so it lights like 80 or 90 of these people on fire. It's like, and it creates an explosion of corpses. They fly around, and you see as the corpses go around, but it doesn't hit everybody. and some of them finish their transformation, and you see that they transform into chicken lords. They've got large black bodies with these large anus holes in their face, and these large hands up in front of them, and they begin running around. And unlike actual chickens, they can fly a little bit. And they're like, and the room begins.
We need to get to the stairs.
And the lizard
Close
folk
it
all
off.
around them swing around, and the chicken lords just take their anus mouth and put it on their head and begin. It's like a snake eating a thing. They're like, and they begin eating. And they're like, fall back, says the lizard folk, and Om looks around. Forel, we are outnumbered.
Hope's already run into the stairs.
Yeah, I'll follow.
I mean, if
Hope.
Varel wants to, enjoy the scene.
No, fall back. We must find Follow.
All right, so he's still concerned about Follow. All this is happening. Where's Follow?
Hey,
Let's take
I'm
our break
relieved.
there. Let's take our break there, and when we come back,
Oh, nice.
we'll resume with the March of the Chicken Lords.
All right. Perfect timing. Let me say to people, don't go too far. We're just all going to get drinks and refresh ourselves. We'll be back in a second with more There Will Be Dungeons. Stay tuned.
There will be